Hell, it's not doing. There we go. It's doing it. Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and of course the boys as always. Welcome back to the Dumbass class where we are playing some more Warhammer Fantasy's 2nd edition. And in tonight's episode, well, in last week's episode, we had passed on a month-ish. Within that month, we had a new dwarf turn up, and we had a human sneak into the base. To quickly pass over what happened to the human, because his player and another player are not here just yet. They will be late. The group fed this dishevelled madman who stole their booze and then tried to sell it back to them down to the parlour where he had a lovely bowl of stew. After informing the council and Humperdinck and the rest, with all the work they had to do, they decided it would be best just to put him in the brig for now until they can figure out what to do with him. He doesn't seem to know about what's going on, so for now he's a thief. We'll put him in the brig. The dwarves quickly build a brig, and yeah, we'll just leave him there for now. And once he's a bit more lucid, he's eaten his stew and basically just fallen asleep. He's just murmuring to himself that that was a lovely bowl of stew. So yeah, he's out of it. Casper unfortunately has barricaded himself in his room. He's got the big SADs at the moment and he is going to be researching. So the rest of the group, you've come to terms with the fact that you had an intruder in the base. You've gotten to know your dwarf friend, your new dwarf friend a little bit more. You would all know that he's not from a Karak. He's an Imperial dwarf. Just so that we get that bit out of the way. So if you want to chat to him later, you do know that he is from the Hungy lands.
I'm from Osland, to be precise. The same place as the thief, coincidentally.
So a couple of days pass since the incident of the the intruder, and we come over to the next person who visits our lovely little community. Unit, would you like to introduce your character as much like the last two? You approach the Black Pit settlement. It's basically a burnt out husk of a town, and you don't really see. Why have you just done that? Roll 20. You whatever. So you see this. I've lost my place now. This burnt out husk of a town, and again, you're sure that no one can live here. Surely not. But the coach driver, whoever is bringing you here, who brought you the message, ensures you that there is a settlement here. And after not too long, you see the walls, the wooden walls of the Black Pit. You're a human, so maybe you're a little bit more impressed that, okay, there is a walled settlement here. Fair enough. As you approach, you can see that the wood walls have given way to stone. There appears to be a new. It wouldn't be a gate. I doubt it would. It'd unlikely be a gate. There's a new large fortified door in place, and you can see a couple of mercenaries on the battlements. As the merchant approaches, he whistles up to the guards, and the doors open up, and the carriage makes its way in. Right, you would not be there. You'd probably be in the smithy. First people you would see there are 3 individuals who are all dressed in a similar style. One with a bow and a pigeon on his shoulder, one with a sword and shield, and one quite small individual, a short man or a young teen, with a large pike and a warband's emblem flying underneath.
Master Merchant, if you'd like to bring your cart over here, we'll watch the garden, though. Milady would not be happy if you were to allow your animal to damage it. We'll get your stuff loaded out. Oh, hello, miss?
Sarah would probably step out of the cart, not be terribly impressed. She was invited here by Humperdinck, more or less. At least she got the letter. And basically, she would ask the little boy with a pike, say, "Where's Humperdinck?"
My lady, I believe he is on his boat.
He points over, and you can see just round from it. The map doesn't quite give it how it should be, but just round from the Black Pit, you can see on the other side that there is indeed a dock and a riverway that leads into the settlement. There is quite a large, majestic river barge that is at dock there. It's comically big compared to the size of the dock that's there, but you can see that there are, again, a couple of mercenaries who stand watch on the prow, and there are a few sailors going about and doing chores on the ship.
Do you want me to go and get them? Go and get him?
That would be great, yes.
You are dressed quite finely, aren't you? As far as I can remember.
She might have been dressed finely once, but the dress is mostly ruined. Like, there's still golden embroidery, but
I think
yeah, the dress has seen better days.
I think where he's come from the golden hammer, he knows a little bit more. So he will basically, he's got more etiquette than the other 2 peasants who are currently dealing with the merchant.
Well, my lady, if you want to go into the house and wait, I will go and get my Lord Humperdinck.
He gives you a bow, which is very similar to how a servant would bow to a member of nobility, and he takes off.
Well, he is bowing to a member of nobility. But yeah, she nods and steps into the house, taking with her a small box of her belongings that she wouldn't have, left on.
Sure, you can do that. Bill has a little bit more people skills from what I can remember, so he would at least offer help. Do you want a hand with that box, or are you okay?
No, I'll take care of it.
Suit yourself. He sets his pigeon to fly and begins taking bags. Looks like Bill and Ted have done this many times before, grabbing hold of bags of wheat and other oats. As you go into the property, you'll see that there is a budding garden. Well, Olivia does have magic to make it not budding, so there's a thriving garden out back. and it appears as if they've got the glass back into the windows of the house. And as you make your way in, you can see that most of the furniture has still been destroyed. There's a large table, but there's only like 4 chairs there, where there should clearly be 8 or 10. And there's chandeliers that have been, well, that's a normal chandelier. That one's missing all of its glass bits and all of its beads and baubles. Clearly, this place has seen better days. At this point, we're probably about midday-ish. Merchants and carts and things don't normally travel in nighttime in the old world. They tend to find a coach's inn to stay at. So it's probably about midday at this point. Would any of the other characters be in the house during midday? You do see a nice harlot at the stove who seems to be chopping vegetables and preparing lunch.
Boy.
Former harlot.
Actually,
Wow.
let me
Wow.
let me roll if I'd recognize her, because Sarah would have been in Nuln for pretty long.
Aurelia is in the kitchen helping. The Sierra is
No, she
definitely in
doesn't.
the tower.
Sure. Would you like to describe yourself as the, well, not so importantly the former harlot, but as Aurelia sees you?
Well, basically, you would see a fierce young woman. Her body language and movements suggest that she is a noble, or at least was born a noble. She has her head held high and a certain grace to her posture, unlike peasants. The dress is pretty tattered, and there are a few cuts, and you can see through that she's wearing chainmail underneath. That adds a certain clanking to her movement. She is wearing a mask on her hip currently. It's pale, and it shimmers a little in the light. But apart from that, she just has ash blonde hair. A pretty face, but nothing out of the ordinary.
She has a mask on her hip.
Yes. Where she might wear it occasionally.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow because this is the kitchen. I'm going to look at Tiffany and beckon to her and say, "Hello there. You appear to be lost. Who are you?"
She shakes her head. I've received a message from Sir Humperdinck. He was looking for mercenaries, and I intend to earn some money.
Ah, another mercenary, I see. Milady. Unfortunately, Humperdinck is not in the state he should be by the boat. But you're welcome to come in. I think I'm going to look at Tiffany. Is there still food left?
No, I'm just making it. Lunch will be an hour, I suppose. We've got some dried goods if you're really peckish.
She offers a little smile and says, "I'll be fine."
Well then, I'm sure the dwarves are going to love you. Right through there. I'm going to point her towards the patio, I guess, over here.
She tilts her head slightly and says, So you've been with Humperdinck for a while, haven't you?
I'm going to raise an eyebrow saying, unfortunately so, or fortunately, depends on your point of view, but yes, why?
I've heard quite a few things about him and the Marquis. Interesting.
I was going to raise an eyebrow, look at Tiffany, look back at and she'll say, ah, and what sort of interesting things would those be? The Marquis was, indeed, as my sister would say, fascinating.
Oh, just noble intrigue. A big
Ah,
player suddenly dying. I'm a minor noble. I've just heard things, you know.
he didn't die well. Suffice to say that.
Few people do.
No, really, he died horrifically. Trust me. I've been alive for 120 years. I know.
She's going to nod and leave it at that.
Well, make yourself at home. The leaders of this place should be Hagrid down there, Humperdinck at his boat, and my sister at the tower. You can see the tower, right?
She nods.
Don't go in there unless invited.
Do
Oh,
some
and you
people not see the tower?
most don't see the tower.
That's interesting.
Oh, it's magic, so not really.
She gives a little sigh and nods, muttering, yay, finger wigglers to herself.
Oh, you say that. I don't get it. Well, make yourself comfortable. I think you may have walked past the garden. Livia might be tending to it. If she's not there, I don't know where she might be. Dwarves. Well, everywhere you look, you find a dwarf. So it's weird. We're, we're rare, but they're also supposed to be rare.
What are you discussing? How your kind is meant to be rare, and yet you all of you seem to be here. It is quite unusual. Oh, hello there, my dear. Humperdinck notices your tattered noble attire, and he bows slightly as recognizing someone of nobility or once. I am Lord Malleus von Humperdinck. Pleasure to meet you.
She nods, gives a little bow as well. Sarah von Düstermoor. He should recognize the name. I don't think a nobler state going down in flames like that goes unnoticed.
You'll have to forgive me. I've spent much time trading up and down. I've heard of rumors regarding that name, but nothing nothing but rumors. You'll have to forgive me if I'm not caught up on all the details. You have my condolences for what of the stories are true.
She nods. There's not much left of my house, except for rubble and me. But that's why I'm here.
I see. The life of the adventurer has claimed you, has it? I can't blame you for that. Seems it bit me long ago. Well, I suppose if you've come to join the mercenary group that's going in to Mordheim, I should probably tell you all the details. Basically, we're going into Mordheim to pillage what we can and sell the rest. My main goal is to work for the Countess of the Countess elect of Nullen. That is where my charter holds. But my warband members are all going in for some for their own reasons, and others for other reasons. There is another warband that is also going with us, quite famous actually, the Nameless, the ones who aided Siegfriedhof during that undead fiasco. Yes, they were here first. So of course all of their party members, along with the dwarves who also accompany them, well, they have taken how shall we put it, a priority stake in management here, because you would.
Another reason why I'm here. I've heard of Sigridov, and I'm very interested. I'm sure you'll understand, knowing the room.
Well, yes. There is an issue, and I hope you'll be able to work with this. As the deal I have made with Hagrin, the leader of the dwarves, and he appears to be very much a leader, or the negotiating voice for the unnamed warband. They hold his council as well as theirs. Well, I have a stake. I am a council member, I think they put it. The issue is anyone who comes under my employment is not a council member, and some of the others in the Nameless warband are not like you and I, my dear. They are not of noble birth. As long as you are okay from time to time taking orders from them, it shouldn't be a problem. At all times, if you think their demand unreasonable, you can come to me. But of course, I believe it is Miss Wilhelma. I haven't seen much of her. She's around. Spends a lot of the time in the smithy with the dwarves. There's a Lissirara. She spends a lot of her time in the tower. Do you see the tower, my dear? Not everyone does.
I do.
Good. Young Mario doesn't. Quite baffling, actually. And many of the peasants don't see it either, but good, you can see it. Steer clear of it. Very powerful mage dwells within. But Lissy Rara, she researches and things in there. She is of the Wood Elves. I don't know if you know of them. Well, like Aurelia here, a Wood Elf. Different from High Elves. I had no idea until I had met them, really. They don't like to trade.
They're not very common in Ostermark either. And here they are.
But
I'm just going to look over my shoulder at Aurelia. Humperdinck, it would do you well to know the name of my sister. It's not Lissirara, it's Lissiara. Jesus Christ, Humperdinck, you're supposed to be better than that.
Who is this Jesus of Christ? Anyway, I apologize. Many new names. The dwarves are quite difficult, and many names to remember. I do apologize. Lissiara, okay. But as it comes for the stakes, everyone who goes in to Mordheim has a stake in the loot. Some of the the elves, he gestures towards Aurelia, have claimed certain artifacts of their people. The dwarves have done the same, but the deal is, if they take out an item worth 1,000 gold, then we take out 1,000 gold, and we divide it between well, not them. So you would be in a stake for that, and everyone. We all pull our. So if one warband is wounded, and only one goes in, the loot is divided between all members. To make it more. Well, if your party member is down and you're not making any gold, you're more likely to leave them behind and suffer the consequences inside. So the dwarves were quite insistent on that one. Or was it I? I can't remember. A very good dwarven merchant there. He's quite confusing, but very good at what he does.
See, not seems reasonable to me.
The other issue will be housing. We don't. The barracks is still being rebuilt. There are only so many rooms in this building. Plenty of room to build to put up a tent, and obviously wash facilities and warm food and everything can be provided. But alas, my fallen lady, beds are at a premium.
I'll make do with what I get.
Yes, it will be some time before we go in. We have just dealt with an attack by a ratman. So yes, we need to resupply, rebuild certain things about the barracks for one. It's a shambles. And make ready our adventures. So I recommend you go round and meet the rest of the warband. Apparently Casper has the big sads. He is aboard the vessel and won't see anyone. Well, that's what the rest of them tell me. Aurelia, you've met, but there's a few others. There's a few dwarfs. If you need equipment repaired, you might want to do a deal with them.
I might have something for them. Yes.
Well, by all means, I'm sure you can strike up a deal with them. There are a number of them. I lose my mind trying to keep track of them all. But yes, if you do have need of me, I will be aboard the ship. Well, if you have anything you need from Siegfried Hoff that you didn't bring, be sure to let one of the sailors know. They'll pass it on to the captain or to me. The ship will be leaving in 2 days to go in to get more supplies.
I'm afraid I probably won't be able to pay for anything current.
Well, I can assure you that food and drink and shelter is provided, but unfortunately, my coffers are being stretched rather tightly at the moment, and we still have, from what my comrades and my warband say, at least another 2 months of preparation. I am rather itchy to get in and earn some coin myself, but at the moment I am unable to assist. Unfortunately,
not. I didn't mean to imply.
If you can
to be a liability.
If you can find anyone to trade with, by all means, that is completely acceptable. Again, there's a forge. If you can make things, by all means, have at it. We have a number of amount of poor steel, or iron left over from the ratmen. Ask the dwarves; they know what their weapons were made out of, but we're just melting it down at the moment and reusing it.
She gives a little nod. Do you have an area for training, exercise?
At the moment, no, not really. There's enough rubble and debris and rocks being delivered. If you must move heavy things, that is available. If you wish to set up an archery range,
Swordsmanship and archery.
If you wish to do that, the other side of this wall here, well, actually, you might shoot someone. It might be better if you wanted to do that. You can set up outside the settlement. We have men on the walls to keep watch. I suppose we could, if you're careful, you could set up an archery range inside in a training area around the tents. But just be careful you don't shoot one of the hirelings. We need every man at the moment.
I'll see what I can do.
I hope you liked his wording there, at the moment. Then I'll welcome aboard.
She nods and offers a hand.
He takes your hand. Do you have a signet ring on?
She does, yes.
Then he would essentially go in and kiss the signet ring. I shall prepare the paperwork and ensure that all things are in order.
She gives another little bow. Also, find a place to stay.
Humperdinck will then leave you to get acquainted. If anyone's wondering why Humperdinck decided to kiss the signet ring, it is because he is a merchant at all times. He knows that the nobility do not buy stuff from their betters. He's like, okay, no, we always make sure they know they can come to Humperdinck. He will do good deal, yes.
Really is not looking at it, she's just shaking her head. Disappointed. Humperdinck.
Sarah will actually tilt her head and raise an eyebrow. Is something wrong?
I'm just going to look back, raise an eyebrow. You speaking to me?
She's going to nod.
Human, don't mind me. I don't particularly... I'm going to lie here. I don't particularly understand all the customs of you humans, and sometimes they may look weird to me. That's all. She's going to smile and go back to helping Tiffany.
I'm sure it was more for looks. He does know that my house isn't worth very much.
He's going to shrug.
And with that, Sarah will leave. I suppose. Have a look around to try and find a place to stay.
Yeah, I will lean over to Tiffany and say, "Who knew Humperdinck could be such a pushover?" Huh?
let's put Livia over here for now, and then I can.
I suppose you would go and have a look around the building, tavern, for example.
Sure. So as you make your way through the main house, once it probably was nice. You look out across the. It wouldn't be. It might be the courtyard. You look out across the courtyard, and you can see that the pub, the front of it, is still badly damaged. You can see they're trying to slowly put in new woodwork and start repairing the windows and the wall that's been knocked out. You can also see there's a small forge, well, medium-sized forge, with some dwarves shouting, the sound of steel hitting hot iron, and so on and so forth. You can hear from down within a pit with iron bars across it. Well, all I was trying to do was sell you some alcohol. Why have to be down here? It was lovely stew. And there's this large 3-story ominous looking tower. Is it 3 or 4? I can never really remember. I think it's actually 4. It might be 3. There's just
So
something.
Sarah has 6th sense. Would she notice anything?
With 6th sense.
Yes.
Hang on. Can you remind me what 6th sense does? It's not paranormal, is it? It's just like a.
I'd have to look it up, but it's basically when there's danger.
Yeah, you don't feel danger in this area. With the guards on, there aren't many guards, mind you, but with the guards on the walls, and you don't feel in danger. And there are people going about fairly mundanely that seem to be a bit scared of the wells for whatever reason. The tower just looks really ominous. You know, it looks like a place that you're not meant to go. And you get the feeling very much that, yeah, I don't really want to go in there. You can. Your willpower is high enough to break the enchantment. So you can go in there if you want. But for most, you know, if you've got 30 willpower, you struggle to see this and struggle to want to go in there voluntarily.
Well, she does have 63, or I think she's fine. But yeah, she's been told there was finger wigglers there, so she'll probably go for the tavern.
Sure. So it's after your talk with Humperdinck, it's probably about 12:30 by now. Who would be in the tavern at 12:30?
Dwarves, probably.
If you want to be in there, Ragnar, you can place your token in there.
Ragnar will definitely be in there. Where is my token?
In the forge.
Okay, just forgive me because I was not here last week. So there we go. Definitely in the tavern.
Carla, would your lolly be in the? Would your finger wiggler be in?
Stop with that, please.
Okay, fine. I will. Would your mage be in the tavern?
You should know that. It's not lolly, it's chili.
Probably. I mean, she doesn't really have anything better to do right now.
Okay, so there is a rather short young lady in. Are you taking on the full aspect of your mage order at this moment? Like, have you bought the brilliant blue robes yet, or are you still in your normal?
Actually, let me check because I don't remember from the sheet.
It'd be something that you as a player character slowly turn to.
No, but
Because as she looks up, she has brilliant. It's like she has these crazy eyes. What was it? Are they ringed? Glowing rings in your eyes?
It just says that they turn unnaturally blue. It doesn't say anything about rings or
Oh,
anything.
okay, so that's just an encased thing. Okay, so she has just these shiny, brilliantly
And
blue
no,
eyes.
No robes of the order as of yet. Not something I ever went around to.
And
Is she wearing robes, though?
She would, I think.
and you see a dwarf who is probably drinking and polishing something. Probably,
Yep,
at a guess.
Yeah, he's always polishing something. Let's face it. Usually his helmet in his lap.
Did you say were you going to say someone's helmet?
No, his helmet. Oh, it's always his. It's not like he has anyone else's to have fun with. I mean, what?
Disgraceful. So yeah, you see a young girl looking over a book, perhaps, with brilliantly blue eyes, as a dwarf sits there drinking an ale, probably talking about the importance of shiny armor, as he polishes something around his groinal area.
It's like that classic. You just see him hunched over, doing a motion.
Oh
in
yeah,
his
and
lap,
she's
and then when
definitely.
you walk past him, you notice it's not actually what you thought it was. It's not as bad as you thought.
She will step past the teenager and the masturbating dwarf to the bar.
What the fuck did I miss?
The best bits. The best bits.
The best bit. Always the best bits. Let's face it.
Hi there, can I help you? A dwarf who seems to have a musket on his back, who's currently playing barman, because why not? He has a beer on the counter that he clearly is drinking from and refilling.
Say, I was wondering, is there a place to stay? I'm relatively new around here, and I was told that there were tents.
Oh, if you brought a tent, you can set it up out there. Unfortunately, with the barracks burning down, we kind of don't have anywhere else to put any of the hirelings. You can always bed down in the tavern here. We always keep the haft on. But it's a bit chilly with, the wall not being there, but we're working on it. I'm Dimzid, by the way. I'm with Haglin. Haven't seen you here before.
I'm new, a mercenary, hired by Humperdinck. My name's Sarah.
Well, nice to meet you, Sarah. You can set your tent up wherever you like, or bed down in here. Unfortunately, we don't have anywhere else at the moment.
She will look around the tavern and then give a slow nod. I suppose I'll stay here then.
The inside of the tavern is definitely looks like it is being destroyed and then put back together fairly quickly. Like, some of the chairs are rocking when you sit on them badly. Some of the tables rock badly. But it looks like all the tables are in place, all the chairs are in place. They've put it back together just really quickly, and haven't done the wall yet.
But I'm sure I'll find a relatively cozy place.
I mean, hell, we might be building more places. We'll have to see what the merchants can do.
Can you tell me anything about the people here? other two warbands that got here?
Oh, I can tell you a bit about the the nameless. Not that they ever chose that name. There used to be a number of them. They're now down to just two. You have Lysiada, who's a mage. Spends a lot of her time in the tower there. And then you have Wilhelma, just a gorgeous soul. That one, just a gorgeous soul. She's got the aptitudes of a fine craftsman, craftswoman, I should add. She's in the forge now. She's working on her masterpiece, and I've told her I won't get involved.
That she can tell he wants to climb those mountains.
Pretty much, he doesn't really hide it. Well, no, he doesn't really hide it.
She's just going to grin.
But she's working in the forge at the moment. I've known them both for a while now. They're good people. I trust both of them, which is odd. Don't get me wrong. Especially with Lysiada being an elf, but she's not a high elf, so it should be fine. The other warband, I don't know much about them. They helped us out about 3 weeks ago now. They helped us out. We were nearly goners, to be honest with you. Well, no, we might have survived. We might have. But we would have lost a lot more than we did. But yeah, I don't know much about them. They've got this pompous merchant. He seems pompous, but yeah, but from what Osrid's told us, he's got a good merchant's head on his shoulders. He'd do well in the cracks. But he, I don't know. He scratches me the wrong way. There's something about him. The others I really don't know all that much about. That one behind here, he seems to want something to do with the shit. I forgot the dwarven word name. The dwarf's name for Skaven. So the Ratman's equipment. I don't know much about what he's after. They've got a couple of weirdos with them, to be honest with you. One of them seems to always be wrapped up in like bandages, but he seems alright for the most part. And well, the other dwarf they've got with them, he's a quiet one, but he's a good laugh. He's alright. Only got a child with them who acts as a banner boy. Yeah, keeps to himself.
He's not a banner boy, he's moral support.
Which is exactly what banner boys do.
I think I saw that one. Yes.
I don't see your token in the tavern out, Black Hand.
I think I'm
out of character.
Building then.
Out of character. When he said a child, I
was gonna say. Carla was expecting to give him the evil eye. Why is there a Ratman here with a gun?
There's no Ratmen on this map. They're on a different map. Yes. Aye, but that's about all I can tell you about them. If you want to get to know, well, that one there and that one there. He points to the dwarf polishing his helmet and the teenager sat by on the table. They're from the what was it called now? The Slayers of the Sky Beast.
He's probably gonna rearrange that name a couple of times yet.
How many Sky Beasts have you slain?
0.
None. I would have preferred the Sky Beast, aka a dragon, to Mordheim, but that's just me.
That sounds like Humperdinck, yes. She's going to turn around toward the polishing dwarf and the teenager. So you're part of Humperdinck's warband then?
Depends who's asking. I give her a look up and down, kind of like judgy, super judgy. Who are you?
A hired mercenary.
Hired by who?
Humperdinck himself.
God be damned. Why? Why are you here? Why did you let yourself be hoodwinked by that man?
Well, I don't have much to lose, and it seemed like a good opportunity to use my skills, make some money, perhaps rebuild my family.
What's wrong with your family that needs rebuilding? Just make a new one.
You see, we used to be quite wealthy. Used to be.
And then you lost it all, I'm guessing.
And then it was taken from us.
Losing it in gambling isn't someone taking it from you.
Having your estate burned down by vampires is.
I'll give you that one.
She's going to nod and sit down at your table.
You met the others then?
Only one so far. An elf in the kitchen.
Oh. You met a few more than just the elf. Point at Black Hand and Carla. Like, they're in it as well. Along with...
She's going to nod towards Blackhand, but as you point at Carla, she's going to tilt her head. You keep a teenager in your warband?
Ah, not this shit again.
She's older than she looks.
She has growing difficulties.
You're about
How
to have
old are you?
beard-growing difficulties.
I mean, I do think a potion that reverse your age. Tiny.
Oh, I swear to God, you're getting fucking shaved.
You want your head chopped off?
Black Hand
Try me.
cut it out.
She started the bear stuff. You don't touch the beast.
Oh please, I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
Not
She's going to lean over.
you causing the trouble, new one.
She's going to lean over towards Carla. Say, how old are you, girl?
If you must know, you will have to wait until the character she loads because, oh my God.
You're 19.
19. Yeah.
Well, only 3 years younger than me. You are surprisingly small, though. But judging by the robes, I guess your talents lay elsewhere.
Yes, they do.
Never quite understood you finger wigglers.
That makes the two of us.
She used to be a finger prayer.
I'm going to have to start shaving beards left, right, and center, aren't I?
Sarah tilts her head. She used to be a nun.
A priestess. You must know. Keep it to yourself.
That's quite the career.
Yeah, well, the winds of magic aren't exactly very specific, you know.
So I don't have it, but when you say she used to be a priestess, you do hear ravens crow, and people outside see a flock of ravens fly overhead.
Kaka! Kaka! Tuki! Tuki!
Yeah, they like to remind me of that every now and then.
So, which god were you a priestess of?
One of them.
More? Which, let me tell you, that would have caused problems here.
She nods, her face hardens a little. I'm sure he was most merciful.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
She nods, her face hardens a little. I'm sure he was most merciful.
Again, that would cause problems here. It was a weird part of my life, okay?
She's just going to nod acceptingly.
Oh, don't know if anyone told you that. Stay away from the tower. You can see the tower, right?
She nods, I can.
Yeah, you don't want to go in there. Don't want to go near there, probably. The owner is a bit, territorial, shall we say.
I was told there was an elf holed up in there.
Oh, yes, her. Well, if you want to have a chat with her, I suppose you'll have to wait until she leaves. She leaves sometimes. But, again, it shouldn't come in uninvited. The guy who runs that, unpleasant fellow.
She turns up in 15 to 30 minutes, about lunchtime.
Pretty sure he's also, not quite right in the...
There are lovely smells. Amazing smells. This is going to be an excellent stew, as you smell. Oh, yes.
Another stew.
She has to feed like 16,
To
no
be
more
fair,
than that,
yes,
like 20, 30 people.
Soups are pretty efficient.
One big pot, easy. She got a 16. I'll just let you know. She got a really good roll.
Oh, she's actually making good stew. Who would have thunk?
Oh no, she genuinely is. That's why I made such a big show about it last time, because she genuinely rolled really well.
That was really suspicious.
I know, it was brilliant. I loved it. You're all like, what's going on with the stew? What's up?
Well, usually when the GM keeps talking about food, we have
Exactly.
to make conversations and say,
I know, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, nobody has to really know that it's a gerbil stew.
We see, that's the thing with my gameplay. When you get fed stew, I don't say anything about it.
That's when you have to
Wait.
worry.
Did we eat this and he didn't say anything about it? Oh, that's suspicious.
well, we had to do something
It's
with the
suspicious
reference.
no matter how you sell it. That's the thing.
I mean, it explains where all the ratmen went.
Oh, good
Technically,
point.
I
Good
was
point.
bored,
No,
though.
I should bring that up. So when you approached, there looked like what seemed to be a burnt out husk of a cart that the birds are just flocking all over, just picking through it and looking for any scraps and remains. Mainly a charred, burnt smell coming off of it, but
Are you telling us that our loot card got...
the one you brought out of Mordheim, not your new one, the crappy one that you brought out, yeah, that got sacrificed to the plague god to purify and rejuvenate the land so rebirth could happen from decay. Nurgle was very
There
happy.
was so much stuff on that card.
No, it was the other one. It was the one that
Oh.
had nothing in. Yeah, the one you got out of
never
Mordheim.
mind then. Then that can burn in hell in the hole.
But that was our cursed god. Come on.
If you started using it, I would have had something happen. I said to myself, if they actually start using this, weird shit will start happening. It's been in Mordheim for years. It's steeped in just evil. You'd be using it, all of a sudden, Bill would just jump off as there's a ghostly rider just sat on the thing, just whipping some undead horse. Hello. But you burnt it, so fair enough. So yeah, you would have seen what, and it probably wouldn't still be steaming by now. Probably enough time has passed that it is cold. But definitely looks newer as the birds are actually paying it attention.
She will turn to Ragnar and ask, say, I've heard there was a forge here and that I could request to have my equipment repaired.
There may be. Depends what kind of repairing you're looking for.
Well, I have something quite valuable to me that I would like to see repaired.
What is it? You're gonna have to tell me eventually. I mean, I'm probably one of the best smiths here.
Family heirlooms, 2 pistols.
A tankard comes down very heavily when he says that. And as you look behind you, Dimzid's just put his tankard down very heavily and is staring daggers at Ragnar.
Mind if I take a look at those pistols?
Don't let him near your pistols.
As far
If
as
you
I
want
know,
them back.
as far as I know, I ain't the one who uses guns and repairs one.
Well, I can tell you that I'd want the heads of anyone who would dare to break them.
Stares daggers at a certain person that's right here. Well, we'll make sure to take good care of them. I say, if you want proof of my skills, point at the helmet that I'm currently He's in my lap, and then my leg plates. I was like, sturdiest stuff this side of Null.
Except from what Master Hagrin makes.
Yes, but he knows runes I don't yet.
I mean, what is... I am no craftsman, but isn't smithing and gun manufacturing different trades?
Aye, they are, little miss. I'm the engineer who came with Hagrin's group. But I will admit that Master Blackhand here has seen and worked on weaponry that I have not. That rifle he has is quite special, and I haven't worked on that.
It.
I bought it broken because a brand new one was too expensive. When you have the skills to do it yourself, you do it yourself. Also, lack of supply doesn't give you a lot of choices when you have to make split decisions.
So I don't know who's better, but he's definitely worked on more exotic, shall I put it, more exotic weaponry. But it's up to you, miss, who you want to get the work done. But I would definitely not go saying that someone be the finest without actually seeing the finest that this place has to offer. Unfortunately, Hagrin is assisting Wilhelma with forging her weapon.
Oh yes, didn't you teach her how to make weapons too?
I taught her how to. I taught her the tools of the trade, shall we say, of being an engineer. But
Wait,
but
so you're telling me you're letting someone else work the forge with her?
aye, well, she doesn't want me there pointing out where she's gone wrong. But she's more than happy to have some encouragement. And as Hagrin's not actually an engineer, he's really just helping her with the forging of the metal and the making sure that it's pure. And she'll do all the technical engineering side of things. But still, Hagrin's over there. I'm not allowed in the forge until she is done, so I am here.
He has a thing for tall women.
Aye, I do. Can I ask, how many times, Stone Cousin, have you worked on Gromril? As a master smith, I'm sure you've done it many a time.
Well, we once found the great source of Gromril. Sadly, we were not allowed to take it.
Speak for yourself, Blackhand, and I gladly show my braces that I definitely did not make.
Aye.
You
Aye,
found
that's-
those in a ruin, by the way.
No, I didn't.
Well, you don't have to roll deceive because well, he's been.
If you say that again, I'ma knock you out.
So what did you
Made
forge?
Because you weren't even there when I found them.
Well, no, he does know that you found them because you turned up with them and he knows the value
True.
of them. So
That's a good point. But
there's
Also,
no point
I probably
being.
would have noticed you getting such a big lump of Gromril.
There's no need to be ashamed, Stone Cousin, but Master Hagrin has worked it. He is a master who should be respected. It's a shame he's lost his passion and his flame is burning low. But that is why so many of us are willing to reignite that furnace in his heart and get him back to the forges to take on new apprentices.
I think
So I would not go boasting too soon until you've actually beaten him in a challenge, at the very least.
I think you know more than most. I would never disrespect intentionally Master Hagrin.
He
and I have
he
much in
drinks
common.
deeply from his mug. before, oh, hey, would you not now? Places
Not
it back down and
intentionally, no.
fills it back up.
But you say this one is an engineer that might be able to repair my gun?
Hey,
Which
Blackhand.
engineer are you talking about?
He points over to Blackhand. He's like, I am an engineer, but he's worked on fancier hungy weaponry than I have.
She will open the little box that she carries around with herself.
What do I see in the box?
Taking out a small ornamental box, far smaller, but big enough to hold 2 pistols, and steps over to Blackhand. Opening the small ornamental box and turning it to him.
I take a look at them. I don't touch them.
You would see 2 very, very richly decorated pistols. They are best craftsmanship.
Ooh, fancy.
Those were the guns of my father. You say you can repair them.
It should be doable. I don't know the internal workings, of course, of this particular gun, but
So,
what I
Blackhand,
know-
immediately from repairing your own rifle, when you look down at them, it looks as if whoever used these last was pointing both of them trying to shoot something when a sword has come in and smashed into the cocked back lead, the firing lever, and has actually spent the metal round. You just from your skill, the level, the amount of time you've put into it, you immediately know that it needs to be either seriously restored or a new piece has to be made in there. A whole new I can't remember that part of the gun, the trigger mechanism, basically the hammer. That's the word. The hammer mechanism for both guns needs to be replaced or repaired. Just off the top of your head, you think you could replace them really easily with just crappy steel. You know, just make the new part. It wouldn't be best craftsmanship, but it would work again. To actually repair, to reheat the metal and bend it and make sure that it hasn't lost any of its strength in the repair of it will take longer and more time. But you need to examine the rest of the weapon to see if it's got other problems. Sorry, I'm drinking beer and it's very gassy. It's causing me to burp, hiccup quite a lot. You'll need to examine the weapons more to see if there's other defects.
Well, from what I can see here, Cutter had a nasty swing of a sword. At the trigger, at the action mechanism, so yeah, it will be either need to be replaced or very carefully repaired, which will take longer than replacing it. And then we will need to do thorough checkups, so that will also take some time.
I would want to see them restored to their former glory.
Okay. As a side note, do you have any material available for it? Or the gold to purchase that material?
She shakes her head.
Right. Let me have a talk with Humperdinck later and see if we can't arrange anything for the metals needed for the repair. Since I also don't have any gold left.
There's no rush, Dwarf. They've been broken for a few years now.
Alright. Just putting all the cards on the table. the best thing to do in a business relationship, after all.
She smiles and nods, closes the box again. Let's hope this works. And turns around, returning to the table with Ragnar.
Are we at a point where we can have a time skip?
I mean, I will probably go to Humperdinck and ask if we can't arrange anything.
Yeah.
Or
So,
someone else.
More time skips means more runesmithing, so yeah. All good for them.
The guns, Humperdinck can provide as much poor steel as you want that's been reclaimed. He is too tightly stretched. He's just paid to have a wall rebuilt and a gate, and more supplies are coming. Until you guys actually go in and start bringing money back out, he is actually struggling. So you can make, if you need the weapons to be used, you can make replacements for them, so can get back in combat. There'll be 1 degree less for each repair that does not get done, with chances of breaking and problems.
I would go for the full restore, as asked.
For the full restore, you'll have to acquire the money that's needed. So you reckon the firing hammers, you reckon they can be fixed, but if they are, there's a good chance of them getting broken as well. 4 degrees of success on each one will fix them. But any critical failures break them completely. Any negatives over 4, and you put a -10 onto fixing them the next time. So if you get a -4 this time, then there's a -10 to try and repair them the next time, and so on until it's just impossible. For every 10 gold that gets invested, you lose a degree of success. So if you invest 20 gold into one, you only need to get 2 successes, as you are basically putting more metal on to strengthen it and to take up the pressure of when you heat it and rebend it, and then you can grind away that metal and fill in any cracks or any defects that have appeared. So if you want to fix it with flat rolls, it's 80 gold for this part. The other side of things is you can acquire materials. If you get good quality materials, that will lower the degrees of success that you need. Again, depending on when you need them, there are options available. And for the other defects, you don't know because you haven't checked just yet. But
every negative degree of success over 4.
So yeah, if you get 4 degrees of success and over, you put a -10 onto your next repair of that item, which I think at your level is almost impossible. You know, if your target is 80, then technically it's impossible for you to get these minuses. But yeah, I don't know what your target is. But what we can do is we will pass up a couple more days. So we have finally got to the end of our first month. This is where another cart turns up. This time it is a dwarven cart. For our dwarf who is riding the cart, you hear over and over and over again at how Osden, I think it's Shieldhammer. I think I named his clan Shieldhammer. I think I did. I can't quite remember. Are just the best merchants. They've got they've got connections all over the Dowie cracks. They have merchant connections with everyone. Everyone who is to be connected with, they are connected with. It's just this constant blowing of oneself, because he seems to be a shield hammer of a very distant line. He's just a humble cartsman, but he is a shield hammer, just in distant relation.
Got it. So he's definitely just kind of blowing smoke up my ass, or their ass at this point.
Pretty much. After some time of this, the journey is waning on you, but soon you are told, we're entering the Black Pit. This is, the shell of a town that it used to be, burnt out ruins and just everything that I've said to other characters. And then you see these crappy wooden walls, clearly built by humans, clearly not up to scratch. You're kind of a little bit depressed as you're like, what this is? And he's like, yep, this is the settlement. But then you come round to the front and you see the doughy masonry, the master craftsmanship that it is, fortified, and your heart just it grows a little bit. You're like, okay, we're not fucked. There's the burnt out remains of a cart that has a number of ravens pecking through the remains. You're not quite sure what they're eating because it looks like burnt out, but there's a flock of them there just curring. As you get to the gate. It's not a gate. Well, it is a gate. The large reinforced doors, the oak and iron enforced doors. The merchant whistles up, and the doors open, and you were met by two men at arms. Or at least that's what they appear to be.
Peasants at arms.
No, they are, as their tokens show now.
They have evolved.
They have been upgraded. By the way, Ragnar, your next duty is to make armor for Ted and Ben
And Bill.
and Bill.
Got it.
Yes, Ted and Bill. That'll be one of your duties. As the merchant comes in, and we get the same riposte of back and forth. As we'll go with Bill. He notices someone on the back, and hi there. What? Are you? Hello.
Hello.
Not the sharpest tools in the shed. The ones who are addressing you. Are you here? Are you a mercenary? That's the one.
Do I bloody look like a mercenary?
Well, you look like a shaved dwarf, but I've never seen a shaved. Does he actually notice? Like, let's just have a look here.
Does he not notice the fucking mohawk?
He got a 29, so he does.
I mean, it's more rich woman than...
He's looking around. He's like the height, and he starts off at the shoes. He's like, well, they're kind of very similar, and he works his way up, and he's like, well, the hips are a little bit different, I suppose. And then he gets up to about your chest. He's like, oh, and he's like, looks at. So you're not just a young dwarf who hasn't got a beard yet? I'm sorry, I've never met a female dwarf before. What's with the hair? Let's roll in intelligence. Does he know what a slayer is? He got 22. He got 22.
He's hanging around dwarves, so he might.
He's a human peasant.
True.
He's not a particularly bright one either.
No, they have both had boosts, but like we're talking, the best stat they have is 49 agility. That's the best stat they have. The worst is 34. So yeah, they're not the greatest, but he has got a 22. It would be half his intelligence realistically, because he doesn't have dwarven knowledge of dwarves. So he technically has failed, but I'll give it. Are you a special dwarf or something? We've got more dwarves out back. If you are you here for Hagrid? Everyone seems to know all dwarves seem to know Hagrid.
The fuck's a Hagrid?
Steel Weaver. Do you want to roll intelligence or dwarven lore to know if you know of the House Steel Weaver? Or if you are from the if you're from the Slayer. Hang on, let me just double check.
I am actually from Karak-Kadrin, the Slayer
Karak-Kadrin
one. I am actually from that. So
Karak-Kadrin is really close to the Karak that Hagrid's from. So Hagrid's home is on the border with the Slovene. So that's the Karak that he was originally from, his family. So that is, in dwarven terms, quite close.
Next door.
I'll give you a +10 to see if you recognise that family name.
She isn't necessarily the smartest tool in the shed, so.
But it is also. It would have also been on the note that was sent around to the dwarven Karaks and the human towns to search for mercenaries. Of note, at least. You know, not just any mercenary, not just any mercenary scum.
Ooh.
So yeah, you've heard of the Steel Weavers. They're a disgraced rune smiths. Haven't created a rune for fucking years now. Last any dwarf really heard of them, they'd gone extinct in the Hungy lands. But there are rumours, and the rumours, you know, have been fortified since a note going out to bring forth Steel Weavers and any mercenaries who are willing to join a fool's errand. There have been other notes that have gone out, other calls to arms, but it's always been within the family clans. So a clan that there were stories, there are, in the tomes, they say that this clan once worked with the Steel Weaver clan, and this clan worked with them. And there have been like talks and murmured whispers about those clans getting the call to arms from the Steel Weavers. And going, well, the Steel Weavers don't exist anymore, from what we know. But they keep to their. Oh, I'm getting all sorts of things wrong today. They keep to their oaths, and they send a couple of lads out, and normally they don't return, but they do say that a Steel Weaver does exist, so they do know that one does, but they never hear from him. So they're kind of, at this point, the Steel Weavers are kind of a legend of what not to do, because their family fell out with the other dwarves and left and went to the human lands, and apparently they got wiped out there shortly after they sent their young'uns out to go and meet up with them. But there are no more Steel Weavers in that Karak that you're aware of. Their clan's hold is empty.
Are any of them left? Thought they all died disgraceful, dishonourable deaths.
He just shrugs. Hagrid's bad.
Has he got one of these? And I just point to my hair.
No dwarf here has a. What is that?
The shake my head and walk inside. If you don't know, you don't get to know.
Bill, who's been listening into this conversation, just like gets all depressed, just like, look at that hair. I used to have hair. I don't anymore. Yeah, go that way as you sort of stomp off. If you'd like to put your token down, you can go through the house. Now, this merchant has arrived at actually quite a late hour. It is past lunchtime, so you will not get a stew. But it is close to dinner time, so you might get a stew. It's in old-timey terms, in the summer. Well, that's even worse because it's a lot later. It's probably about 6:30 at this point. Normally in the winter you would not, but as we're in the summer, you're able to get out, stay on the road for longer. So yeah, it's about 6:30 at this point. So for most of our players, work is done, or the work that you have to do is done. So where would you be at this time? It is probably about half an hour away from dinner.
Is that everyone else? Sorry, did you say?
Yeah, for everyone else, where would you be?
Again, I think it was going to, every time it's close to dinner and, well, to any time that has to, any time where food is being made, Irel is going to be with Tiffany.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
In the kitchen. Yeah. So, she's in the kitchen. This tower only ever appears out of the tower, I think, to go eat, and then she goes back, because this is, I think, almost at the end of the research, so
as you enter into the kitchen, you'll have to excuse me if I'm not using the characters' new names. I haven't learned them yet, so I'm just like, yes, you. Female dwarf with a mohawk. You enter the kitchen. There's an elf there. Roll me, what did I do last time for the other dwarves? Was it intelligence or was it perception? Perception. Roll me perception.
Okay.
You see an elf.
Where is perception? There we go.
You see an elf. You quickly grab for something, but then you're like, hang on a minute. This elf doesn't look like the elves I was told about. You're very suspicious. Is this a high elf? You're like
holding one of my throwing hammers ready.
You're like quickly running through like the ancient grudges that you've got memorized, trying to remember what was the house of that high elf, that twat. What was his name? What was his house's name? Can I kill him or one of his kin today? But then you do notice that it doesn't look like the high elves that you've been told about. Aurelia, you get a very common look for when dwarves first meet you, where you're like, yeah, they're trying to figure out if I'm a high elf or not.
I'm just gonna raise an eyebrow. Look, first thing that comes to mind, oh no, another dwarf. God damn it! And then I'm going to cock my head to the side and say, wait.
Wow, racist.
Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of dwarves too, and every single dwarf that appears is like, are you a high elf? I need to kill you. No wood elf. Shoo, go away. But she first is gonna take a deep sigh, look, ugh, another dwarf. And as soon as she sees, big ass mohawk, shaved head, and actual boobies, she's gonna stop and say, hold on.
From now on, whenever we meet a dwarf, you must greet them by saying, have you heard of the High Elves?
They're like us, the Dwarf Holish.
I'm just going to look at Tiffany. Tiffany, do my eyes deceive me? Or does that elf actually have boobies?
You
she
just
said
called her
elf.
an elf.
Instant grudge right there.
Sorry, does that dwarf have boobies? Sorry, I misspoke. Is it just me or does that dwarf actually have boobies? I'm sorry. Are you a female dwarf? I thought you were things of fantasy. I didn't know you actually existed.
Sorry, I've never met a female dwarf before. Hello, Tiffany.
I thought you elves were meant to be famed for your skills of perception.
Well,
Pretty
yeah.
bloody obvious.
But she's gonna look back at Tiffany. I thought you weren't real. I thought you dwarfs came out of stone, male, big beards, and that was it. I'm going to look at your mohawk. Would I know what a slayer is as an elf?
No.
I'm just going to look. Do all female dwarfs have mohawks like that? I don't get it. Anyway, before you say anything, no, I'm not a high elf.
Are all elves this dense? I kind of spit that in Elvish. Because I do know it. Ha!
I'm just going to raise an eyebrow. Oh, look. Ragnar! Ragnar! Have you taught any other dwarfs how to speak my language? Anyway. Well, whoever you are, dwarf.
I learnt your language. So when I wipe the grudges from the book, I can accuse them properly.
Please, dwarf. You could never step foot in the Holy Forest and actually survive.
No, she's a wood elf. This conversation comes up a lot in my kitchen. No, she's a wood elf. There was a high elf, but he died. We sent his body off a few weeks ago.
As soon as you say good, yeah, is gonna stop being joking. Yeah, she's just gonna raise an eyebrow and say, a lot of dwarfs died too. Dwarf.
Hopefully they went out fighting that elf.
No, they died of Skaven. Do you know what those are?
I'm imagining since I'm a slayer, yeah, I probably know what Skaven are. I've probably got like all the big bads of like big enemies that would be worth my time to die against, like memorized. Like,
pretty much all dwarfs, unless you come from a very, very Pacific Karak, know about Skaven.
Yeah. So, yeah. There. What kind of Skaven? Big ones?
Big ones, small ones, ones with guns. Oh, dude.
God,
if you I'm going to cock my head to the side and say, I'd say guns are unrefined, but they're still useful.
I find my hammers more so.
Well,
implying hammers are more refined than guns.
More
You're literally hitting them with a brick on a stick.
Shush! This is a brick on a stick that has AP, goddammit.
I'm just gonna phrase it. No, no offense, love. It's a hammer, not a gun, or a beautiful and refined bow, or a lovely crafted sword. But
no offense, darling, but an arrow is just a stick.
I'm just going to cock my head to the side.
Brick on the stick.
Damn it, Carlos, shut up. You're not.
I'm about to say that, so shush. I'm just gonna say. So, by your definition, then, would your hammer be a brick on a stick? Oh, sorry, a rock on top of a stick?
I kind of flip my hammer in my hand. You can see it's like beautifully crafted metal all the way through. Nope.
I'm going to shake my head.
Not a stick.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, metal thingy on top of a stick. Gotcha.
You think I'd sully my hammers with wood when there's better materials around?
So, metal stick and a stick. And a brick on top. Gotcha. So refined.
More refined than a stick.
I'm going to pull out one of the. I'm going to pull out my. Where is it?
Is it one of your Iltharan?
She's reaching.
Yeah.
Take her down.
I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull out one of the Iltharan starlight arrows and say, if you think
Would
this
you
is a
have
stick
that?
dwarf,
Would you have that in the kitchen?
no,
You
nothing
you
Tiffany
you,
would
you tell him to
dwarf.
wait there a second. You quickly run up to your room. No, you quickly run to the ship. Grab an arrow and then run
her
back.
room is on the
I'm not-
ship,
I'm not-
so-
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to look at you and say, dwarf, you're all the same. Even if you're a mythical female dwarf, which I thought wasn't real, you're all the same. So basic.
Do all the dwarves you travel with let you insult them so?
Oh no, the dwarves that travel alongside me I actually respect. You still have yet to earn my respect, dwarf.
If you want me to have that chance, I suggest you stop insulting me.
I suggest you do the same.
I kind of nod. And, like, there's a mutual understanding there of people that would just wreck each other's shit.
I'm just
The stew's almost ready if you're hungry. I'm sure everyone
Hungry?
else will come in and
Okay.
have some soon. It's nearly at that hour, or they'll be at the pub.
You have a pub?
what's left of one.
It's only
A
missing a
mocktail.
wall. Well, yeah, the dwarves have kind of handled most of that. But they did say they were costing more to feed than what you'd expected, but they take care of the ale, and he takes care of the food. Well, at least that's what I got off him. But what does he tell me anyway? I'm just a cook. Just a cook he kidnapped.
You're not. You're
Kidnapped
not
you?
just.
It wasn't Humperdinck who kidnapped her, so...
I
Oh, no,
mean,
it was.
technically it
Oh
was.
no, it was. It was. He owns the ship and took off before anyone else was awake.
Yeah, but we also didn't tell him that we had a visitor.
Oh,
He
true. It
also
wasn't.
kidnapped
It
the
wasn't.
man.
He
It
knew
wasn't.
we were there, talking
was not-
alongside each other.
It was not a kidnapping out of malice or out of the want to kidnap her. It's just she was on the ship when he left. So he left, and she had to leave all of her possessions behind. So, yeah, he kind of kidnapped her. But involuntarily. So, you know.
Also, do we still have our morale bet?
I mean, the mariachi band is actual hardcore
actual
kidnapping.
full.
you know?
Full on. Let's go.
But again, he brought them on board and they didn't get off before he left. It's hardly his fault as a lord to control what the peasants do, you know. For all he knows, they were stowaways, so he was doing them a mercy by employing them.
Of course.
They could have jumped off.
Exactly. Like,
Flashback to that guy
medieval times,
falling
guys.
into a tied up and jumped off.
Medieval times. Remember, like, there's a great documentary that's called something like Living in Victorian Times, and they have 4 shows of it, and it shows how the underclass were treated beautifully. And just, if you want an idea of it, just watch that. Yeah, I'm a noble. What I say is true. They're stowaways. They're stowaways aboard my ship.
Frankly, they should be paying me for the privilege of staying.
Exactly.
I mean, as long as they're not called Beatty and Seymour.
Honestly, it's one of the gentler ways to recruit a crew in those times.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
There
But
were
I mean,
way
they
worse
didn't even
ways.
get beaten
Funnily
over the
enough.
head with a stick, so
Funnily
hey.
enough, the Royal Navy did stop conscription before the Victorian age.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was good. Anyway,
I mean, technically,
You
Mario
think they
kidnapped
stopped
as well.
that cute?
so she's gruffly as she's like flipping some extra meat that she's browning off before it goes into the pot. And yeah, you do hear her say that she was kidnapped and brought here. But then she smiles as she looks at her girlfriend and she flips the meat.
So, Elf, you think you can know where I can get a worthy death around here? After I drain the ale, of course.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow and say, huh. The words of my sister, how curious. Most of the dwarves I've met so far.
God damn it, now there's 2 of them.
most of the dwarves that so far have come to this place are actually not looking to die, but sure, Mordheim would be a pretty good place for you to die, I guess, if you want to be horrifically mutilated and have your soul probably trapped there forever, or that's what I heard.
It isn't about just dying. It's about finding a worthy death. It's the Slayer's way.
I mean, again, dwarf. Sorry, I'm getting tired of just saying dwarf. There are too many dwarfs in this place. What is your name?
Illyria.
I'm Illyria. I'm Aurelia. Pleasure to meet you. I mean, if you want to
I'm
die...
out of character. Please don't be mad when I mix you 2 up.
It's fine. I know. Trust me,
Feel
I
my
am
pain.
expecting it. I'm just gonna... I mean, if you want to have a glorious death, I guess, in a combat... Mordheim is probably a good place, but if you do die there in a glorious battle, do be aware, it's not going to be a good death.
So long as it's against a worthy foe.
Well, yes, but according to what I've been keep hearing, your soul is going to be fucked up and trapped in there, and Morai Hag is not going to be able to touch you because the dark gods or whatever are going to be, feasting on your soul.
Grimnir already has my soul.
I was gonna say, she's a dwarf mark. I wouldn't touch that shit anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, welcome to the Black Pit then. Mordheim is the best place for you then.
Do me a favor, Elf. If we end up on the battlefield together, and you see me fighting something, don't help.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow.
Especially if it means I would die.
Still an eyebrow raise. Ugh.
Just pick up some stew and say thank you to Tiffany. Like, which way to the ale house?
Dwarf, Illyria, before you do leave, there are another 2 elves of my kind here. They're kin, they're wood elves, not high elves. I don't know why you dwarves keep so much grudge about the high elves. Yes, they're pompous bastards, but still, it's been, what, 2,000 years?
When they're
Anyway.
pompous bastards that wipe out most of your race, leave a mark.
Do not go after my kin. They're wood elves. If you do, I might have to shoot you. Other than that, enjoy your stay. There are 50 dwarves or so in the tavern. That way, I'm just going to point.
There are one of them Hagrin. Did you say Stoneweaver? Can't ever remember.
Steel Weaver.
Steel Weaver. Where's this Hagrin Steel Weaver?
I'm just going to show. Hagrin. Either the blacksmith or the pub. I don't know. I don't keep tabs on you.
I'll try the pub.
Oh, and also, again, more elves over here. Some of us are actually magically attuned, so don't get desperate if something happens. Capiche? Oh, and can you see the tower, by the way?
Given that I'm currently inside and not near a window, Like, where is the tower? And I look around and there's just no windows in this room.
I'm just using, like, seriously, if you can see the tower, you cannot miss it. It's the biggest fucking building in this settlement.
We should put up like a sign in the front gate. You must be this tall to see the tower.
I'll move to here. Can I see the tower through the windows?
What's your willpower?
My willpower is 65.
Yes, you can see a
Damn.
3-story, ominous-looking tower. It just looks like do not enter. If you enter here, bad things will happen to you. But you look at it and you see that, but you're still like, I could enter it if I wanted. It's not. It's just people who have got like 34 are like, I'm gonna roll. You know, I'm gonna. What does Renaud say as they quickly roll some dice? Renaud says no. I go to the pub instead. You can see it. You just feel that there's a bad. Don't go.
I see the tower, yes. That's human.
Whatever you... I have no idea. Whatever you do, do not enter the tower. I know the thing you just said you want to die. Trust me, if you go in there, you will die, but it's not going to be glorious. And
That's
more
not
than
how you
anything,
dissuade the Slayer from going somewhere.
It's not going to be... To be fair, if you say it's not going to be glorious, that's probably a good way to stop Slayer doing something.
You get a very strong feeling when looking at the tower that would be a very pointless death. That would be very, very pointless, as you've been warned not to go there, and seems to be no other threat. So it's like, that'd be quite.
and also, more than anything, I know you dwarves respect. So respect the tower. Don't fuck with it. Everything's gonna work peachy. Cool.
Cool. Just give you a once-over nod and leave.
Pubs that way.
Holding my stew and like a ball of bread I've gotten from somewhere.
Ireli's probably holding either a towel or something, or she's holding a spoon that she's helping Tiffany with. Just point at face.
Probably also noticed, since I'm not really wearing any armor, that there's just hammers hanging off of me on clips and a great big pick on my back. Like a miner's pick, but far too, like, more military style. It's
That's
definitely
cheating.
been wrapped up.
Armor made of hammers is still armor.
I'm just going to look back at Tiffany. See, like, seriously, I thought Raina did tell me that they had dwarven females had as beautiful and softest beards ever he had seen, but I didn't expect to see that actually in my lifetime. So weird.
Bill and Ted turn up and take bowls of stew and start running them over to the tavern to hand out, along with young Mario, wherever the hell he is. He's around here somewhere. I just don't know where the hell I put his token. Oh, he's back at the ship, isn't he?
Who brought a child to this place?
Oh, for the love of...
It has to, it
I'm
is
not
the
a child.
child.
I'm not a child, actually. I'm a teenager. Dwarf. I have errands to run. Oh, fucking hell! No.
Oh my god.
He just embraces in a chunk.
He hulks up. I'm not a child.
If
God damn it!
Ireli's
Okay,
there,
so sadly, David Wise rather, Mario Jenkins is going to be normal sized for now, because he was like I made his token a little bit smaller to make him, as you could see the difference, but I've undone that now. So meh. He runs off to deliver stew to the pub.
if Ireli hears Illyria say that, she's just gonna go in the background. Ha! Wait until you see Kala.
I still hate you.
I'm assuming you're a Carla. What do you do here? Hopefully bash some of these skulls in.
I'm more of a lightning person.
I'm gonna roll intelligence to just like. Cause
She
let's
has
face it,
freaky blue eyes. Like they are so blue. It's like it's off-putting. It's like that's not
Wait,
natural.
You're.
Wait, you said lightning. We call guns thunderers. That's fine. So you use guns?
No.
Cannon?
No. Do I look like someone who can operate a cannon?
Bitches love cannons.
Okay, this is my first interaction with a female dwarf, and it is utterly bizarre.
So what do you use then?
Magic.
Take a half step back.
What? Look, I'm not gonna spontaneously explode or anything.
Who taught you magic?
I was taught by a sanctioned practitioner of magic under the purviews of the Articles of Imperial Magic. I am a legally sanctioned practitioner.
A high elf?
No? A human.
Right.
Why would a high elf teach me magic?
To help finish the dwarves off? I don't know. Just
I am very confused.
don't hit me with your... I'm guessing you were being quite literal with your... lightning.
Yes. Yes.
You'll notice I carry less armoring than most of the dwarves here, I'm assuming. Since those two buffoons said none other had a crest like mine.
Yeah, it's mostly plates, although there's some lighter stuff too. I wasn't really paying attention.
As you look up and down, you just see that she's just wearing, like, hard-wearing...
That is
moving,
a lot of hammers.
walking clothes, like, traveling clothes, rather than armor. Yeah, well, hopefully I won't attract your lightning. Just do me a favor. Don't get in my way when I'm killing something, and don't help.
That's not very conductive to living, though.
You've never met a slayer, have you?
I haven't met a dwarf until, a few months ago? So, no.
You see this crest?
It's rather hard to miss.
It's our mark. We pledge ourselves to Grimnir, and we fight the enemies of the dwarves.
Okay, I follow that.
Until we die. A glorious and worthy death.
Like a knightly order?
We don't do it for the fame in death, in life. Only to regain some in death.
Can you roll me your knowledge? You should have like Imperial knowledge or Reichsspiel knowledge. Everyone gets. No, this is for our Slayer friend.
Oh.
Because there are, depending on how, if you get like 2 degrees of success on a general knowledge roll about Reichsspiel and the Empire, you would know that there are knightly orders that are similar to Slayers. Like, they have similarities at the very least. Sure.
I do have Speak Reichsspiel. I don't think I have Common Law.
I think every character
Empire.
gets it. So if you
Okay.
just give me a a
This
standard.
will come out as Common Law Dwarf, but it's just
That's
the
fine.
same.
That's fine.
Question, since she mentioned Grimnir, could I maybe roll theology knowledge to maybe connect the dots?
You can, but you'd have to get at least 3 degrees. No, 2 degree, 3 degrees, because it's a different race and a different. Oh wow! Oh wow!
Apparently we're all
1 and
smashing
2.
our rolls today.
1 and 2. Okay. So yeah, you are aware that you could bring up like some knightly order. Not all of them, though. You definitely know a lot of them are just there for the fame and glory. But there are
Like
some
1 or 2.
Yeah, there are some knightly orders that do have similarities with yours. So you know, you could say they're rare, but some are like knightly orders, but not most.
More like
Whereas
penitent order.
Carla is, yeah, you've read a book at one point that has described perhaps it was a squire who saw a dwarven battle and wrote about this group that went in like knights of our realm, marked out in battle with these red crests to signify an order of some sort, but didn't get. It's a natural 2. We'll say you get enough information to know that they are a Pacific order built around very strict values, but you're not entirely sure what their end goal is. Because again, most Slayers won't tell you exactly why they're taking the Slayer Oath, just to regain family honor. But why? You don't need to know that, human.
Yep. Fair.
Oh, I forgot she was like the size of her head are covered in tattoos as well. But
Well, if nothing else, you're certainly gonna stand out here. That probably doesn't say much. Pretty much everyone stands out around here.
yes, you humans look the same.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot from you lot.
Are you
The elves.
sorry if this offends you, are you particularly old for a human?
And I can't even threaten to shave your beard.
You threaten to shave someone's beard?
Yes. I don't think they're threatening, they're taking it seriously.
I would be very careful about throwing that threat around other dwarves.
Yeah, they're not gonna do anything. They need me
If
too
you-
much.
If you dare touch my hair,
Whoa,
be the last thing you do. And I mean that. I don't want to hurt you. You look like a nice woman. Sorry, I don't spend much time around humans.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes. So, what were you saying about everyone commenting on your age? Are you old?
No, not particularly, but I'm older than I look, and it's a source of constant headache.
You want me to bash their heads in? Give them the headache instead?
I would love to, but we actually kind of need all of them. Well, most of them.
Beautiful thing about a headache, it's only temporary. Unless they're weak.
I don't think Humperdinck would like that. I mean, I am technically still on his payroll, so. Just forget about it.
Just say the word, I like you. Well, can't say I like you, but you're better than those 2 idiots I met before. And the child.
That's just Mario. He'll grow on you eventually.
Well, that's what all people do.
Look, we took him out of a fancy noble tavern. That, considering what he is like right now, we've worked miracles on the lad.
Good to hear.
And the elf is just, well, an elf. Is there more to say that needs to be said?
I'm definitely gonna like you. Which way to the tavern? Did you say it was this way?
I'm just gonna point that away.
Thank you.
And don't mind the burning cart.
I don't mind most carts.
Wait.
We'll retcon that because it's outside the burning cart, but it's fine.
Oh,
it's fine. Oh, sorry, I was gonna.
Whoa!
Sorry, I was gonna move your character, and then. So,
No, you moved him again. God damn it!
So as you get outside,
Slayer leap.
as you get outside, there's a lady who stood over a hole, and the hole has iron bars on it, and you can just hear someone from down in the hole. I know that was a delicious stew. That was a lovely stew. Can I get out of here now?
You're not doing anything to alleviate our paranoia about that too.
I just look at the woman. It's like, what's he in there for?
Well, he was caught stealing, and we're not sure who he is or where he came from. So, until we can come to a decision, he's staying in there. We put a tarp over it and a fire up here at night, but we don't have a proper brig or prison. Yeah.
I just get a big globbit of spit and spit it down into the hole on him. And just walk off to the.
Aye, you short-haired point. Aye,
Pointy ears, leave lover.
Aye, you short-legged, long-haired ginger bitch. Spitting on me, disgusting. Do you want some booze? I'll sell you some. I know very little about his character. If you haven't noticed.
I mean, so far he sounded like a used car salesman, and that is precisely what he acts like.
I am so sorry, Geddy, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. He's in the story.
In my opinion, I think you nailed him.
It's like what I do my Chinese and Asian accent and then black accent. I feel very awkward doing it.
No, don't do that.
No. It's like down in my gut that tells me someone's gonna see that and they're gonna want to have words. It's all right. They can have words online. Delete. So yes, as you look up, you can see that the bar still hasn't been properly repaired. There's still a hole that you can walk through. You can see a number of dwarves. People are sat down eating stew, talking about how this stew's better than yesterday's stew. It really is an incredible stew. And ales are being drunk.
By Grimnir's beard, there's a lot of you in here. Someone get me a barrel of your strongest ale.
Tim said, get her a pint. I'm sorry, we currently don't have the supplies for kegs end every night. You'll have to do with taking it easy with your pints. All due respect, what's a Slayer doing here?
What do you think a Slayer is doing here?
Well, I know why you come to this area. I know why a slayer would come to this area if they were old. Their time was done and they needed to find something worthy of taking their lives, but we are not, well, you're not old enough to be going the full suicidal path.
I've got to find something worth my time fighting.
Right.
And I hear you have Skaven. Big
Aye.
ones.
Aye, we've got Iraqi.
Does the humans know that they're not just beastmen?
Hungy do what Hungy do. There's no point trying to explain to them. But aye, some of them know. Some of them are still ignorant, but that is their way. We can be as stubborn as stone, and if they want to be, let them. But they know that they're here and they know they're a threat. Has to be dealt with, so it's best not to push the ignorant ones.
Maybe I'll find one of the big ones for myself.
I mean, we had like 4 of them.
There was a number. They're not that hard to kill. Aye, there are worse things in Mordheim.
To be fair, Illyria is definitely thinking not just rat ogres, like big. Like
Rat ogre.
The problem is, Missy, I know what you're like. What Slayers are like. We're not your brothers. We're stone cousins, to be sure. I've not disgraced any stone cousin by saying that they weren't. How do I know you're gonna stand in the line and protect your brother Dowie and not run off to claim your glorious end whilst we all die because you left the hole? I know the stories. I'm not ignorant.
Then you've only heard the stories of the disgraceful Slayers.
I know what Slayers can do. I've seen you in battle. Like I said, I'm not ignorant. I know you're skilled.
Leaving a hole in the defences, that would be, well, disgraceful enough to get them made a Slayer again.
You see, we're going into Mordheim. And there are creatures there that will crush you easily. The thing is, when we meet these creatures, we run. There's no fighting them. There's no standing your ground against nightmares. His eyes are stone cold. Absolutely stony.
Get it? Stone cold. Get it?
And if all of us are needed to survive, we cannot have one who stays behind trying to reclaim honor for the rest of us to die later on when we need someone to hold the line whilst we escape. And that's the problem with Mordheim. It'll throw challenges at you that you will happily die to fight. But in doing so, you will doom us all later on. I have watched my kin get crushed, squashed, exploded, diced. I have seen Dowie die in ways that you cannot even imagine, girl. So I need to know if you've come to join us. Well, to join... They used my name, didn't they? Never mind. If you're joining us, I need to know that we can rely on you. And it's bad enough that we have to go in with Hungy, that I've never fought beside. and elves that I've never fought beside. But now we may have a mad slayer.
Do I look mad to you, boy?
Well, Helmore is gonna pipe up. Do we look sane to you?
Mordheim will look into your mind. It will know that you wish to die to reclaim something that was lost. Oh, I know too well, first hand. And it will play with that desire. It will show you an opportunity. And you will reach for it and grab it. And the joy that comes as it watches the despair fill as it rips it away. I know.
I have known fellow shield breakers to break the wall. And those that survive, well, some of them were too disgraceful to even take the oath. I will hold the line with you until everyone's escaped. I'm faster than most. I can catch up. I will not throw my life away. I will not see brothers die because of me.
The only way I'll accept having a slayer go in with us into Mordheim is if you are on the bottom rank. I'll not have you lower than the peasants. That'd be dishonourable. But every single member in the warband can tell you to run. Because I'm telling you, when your time to die is nigh, I will put you in that position. And you will hold so that we survive. If you charge off on your own, you will meet a glorious end. You may buy us a couple of seconds that's not needed. When the time comes, well, one of us will have to take your place. And then maybe another, and another. I've seen it happen.
You would curse me to live whilst others die.
I would curse you to die usefully, and to make sure that even the hungry can make sure that you don't throw your life away. Because like I've said, I've seen it. I've gone in there more than enough times. I've seen other dwarven parties go through Sigfriedhof and not return. Or worse. Your corpse may be safe in the cracks. In Mordheim it's not. I have seen Dowie risen up. It is a reality. And it's a reality that's all too close in that place there. As long as you are willing to go by my terms, then I will take you on into the dwarven side of things. You won't be underneath Lord Humperdinck, I think his name was. You'll be underneath me, but even his warband will be able to tell you what to do. You'll have to let them know, obviously. But still, there'll be a time when all of us dwarves go in. When that time comes, we will need every Dowie brawn to achieve our goal and make it back. The hungry have their own objectives, as do the elves apparently, as well as whatever dwells within that tower. We've all agreed to work with each other, for better or for worse. And I will put in a point here. He goes through and tells you all the terms as well.
Yeah.
So you know all the terms. It's a share, blah de blah.
Yeah. I will accept on 2 conditions. I'll accept all of your demands on just 2. If and when I fall. If it is in a honourable way, not betraying your command. Make sure my body is returned to Karak Kadrin. Make no mistake, I will listen to you and obey if you say run. But that is the long and the short of it. I may die. If it is honourable, send me home. And if, for my second demand, if once you've assessed my skills, you think I can take a foe alone, you let me take it alone.
I agree to the second, but not the first. We cannot if we can take your body easily, fine. That's an honor we'll do for any Dowie, but in there's no guarantee. I've never brought a loved one out, so I cannot guarantee it for you. But if it is doable, I will not toss you aside.
Do
I
not
can't
risk
guarantee
Dowie
it.
lives for me, for my body. I only mean if it is possible. I do not know what, as you say, horrors dwell in there. If it is not, make sure they can't rise me. You said they rose others.
I've seen it.
I will not have that happen to me. Cut off my head, burn me, if you must, if I fall. And if that is the case, send a raven to the Slayer hold, letting them know my deeds.
Aye, well, we're making an oath stone. I didn't think any Dowie was stupid enough to come, but there's a couple of you. Once it's completed, we'll make our oaths on the oath stone, and well, that will be that. The Hungy would have you sign a document, but with us, do it the Dowie way. But for the most part, you'll be working with Lord Humperdinck's party, or well, you might work with the Nameless. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna work out the party arrangement, but we all have objectives. We all have goals. Well, you'll soon find out what each one is. But for now, we're getting ready, preparing, getting to know one another, making this place properly fortified and defended before another Aki attacker comes. So it's just time at the moment, I'm afraid. If there are any supplies that you need, Lord Humperdinck's ship's gonna go back to Siegfriedhof and get more supplies. And as you've seen, we've got merchants coming in most days, but his ship can do orders for all of us.
I have all I need on my back. It is the way. But I do have a question. I'm assuming, has he got any of his nice ruined equipment on him?
No, at the moment he is just in blacksmithing equipment. However, his beard would have very fine gold rings in it, and one of them would have his essentially his job description on it. You'd see the anvil, the hammer, the rune.
The clan of the runesmith rune.
Yes, and then you'd see like his family clan's symbol on there as well.
You're a rune weaver.
I was more of. I haven't taken the hammer up for that craft in a long time.
Well, I could use some upgrades to my equipment. I don't have much, but what I do is, the more it can do for me, the better.
So at the moment, we only have poor steel that we're reusing. The walls are expensive. I'm more than happy to do equipment and arms, but I don't do runes anymore. I have the knowledge, but I don't take up the hammer. There's another runesmith here. You might ask him if he can do work for you, but as far as I'm aware, he doesn't have an excess of supplies either. I mean, we might have to look into selling up some goods to make more money available, but until we go into Mordheim, there's not much we can do on the money front, unless you have goods to sell.
I just throw 100 gold onto the table. Like, in a sack. Dunk. See that is used for what you and this other dwarf need. I know you don't take up the hammer, and I won't pry, but you know better than most what supplies would be needed. See that that is used appropriately.
Very well. We'll put your money to good use. I'll see what Ragnar thinks supplies he would want, and I'll add any extras that are needed. The ship leaves in a few days, so we've got the time. I reckon at best bet, with the supply chain that we've maybe got 2 months here. The Hungy wants to go sooner. He wants to go in a month's time. I think one of the elves wants to stay longer, but you know what they're like. They like to take their time and sit about, and well, they've got eternity to do so, but I'm not as rash as the Hungy. We do need at least another month to get another wall up, or at least I'd like another wall up, and to rebuild. Well, it looks like at this rate we might need to build another house anyway, so...
I can sleep out. I will not take space inside. But time is good. I know what little I know of your craft. It takes time. And I don't know how skilled this Ragnar is. Or how selfish.
I've been a bit too busy to get to know him properly myself yet, but we will see. We will see. There's work to do now that all the fires are out. But anyway, you should get to know everyone else as Ragnar starts reeling off names. Sadly,
Ragnar starts reeling off names.
As Hagrin starts reeling off names in the bar, introducing you to those who are here. Our camera begins to zoom out. As that is the end of our episode, I'm afraid. In the next episode, we will have had, hopefully, a time skip where things will be done. I might even do a episode that's not streamed, where we just talk between the group about what they wanted to do in those 2 months, and we get roles off camera done. And then we'll come back to where we're going into Mordheim. However, that will be in 4 weeks' time, as this will be the last stream that I'm doing. This will actually be the last time that I'm putting anything on the internet, because I'm not going to be doing any recording this weekend. I will be doing the last of my packing. So yes, in 4 weeks' time we will return, and we will carry on our adventure, finally going into Mordheim, or getting just close enough, going through the plan. It might be another episode or so. But I would like to thank my players for getting this far in our adventure. I know it has been an awesome ride, but in the next chapter, and it is the next chapter we are entering, it will be chapter 4, a loot too far. So I certainly hope you will all enjoy that. And if you do get the hankering to see more of my content, you can always check out my my YouTube channel, which you can find if you just search in Google The Dyslexic Gamer, and you will find it.
Yeah, apparently we're on Google now. We famous.
We certainly are. It's a good feeling. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.
Boy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.